Here's Black Myth Wukong on the RTX 5080 4K cinematic preset with DLAA. Get a good, long look. And now, here's Black Myth Wukong on the RTX 5080 fully optimized. Can you tell the difference? Yeah, neither can I. And that's a wonderful thing. What's up, everyone? This is Dexion the Gamer, and today I'm embarking on a new series for my channel. It's no mystery that new titles, especially Unreal Engine 5 titles, come out barely working smoothly, and gamers are revolting. Games are coming out as unoptimized, and if the game is boring, that's a double whammy. Black Myth Wukong, however, is a pretty fun game, and so this has inspired me to dedicate some effort into making RTX 5080 4K optimization videos, similar to how channels like Benchmark King does optimization videos on the 60 class. But there's one major difference. My goal is to make a one-to-one experience without having to sacrifice image quality and gain smoother performance with good input response. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so let's take a minute to go over our optimization settings, and then we'll review some comparison benchmarks. Starting off, we're going to be at a 4K resolution, and our target is 120 frames per second for a smooth experience at the highest quality. We have VSync and G-Sync enabled at the driver level with the NVIDIA app. If your monitor has AMD's FreeSync, then make sure that's enabled on your monitor. Motion blur is off, sharpness and camera shake at the default settings. Okay, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of it all in our graphics settings. First thing I need to mention is you want to go into your NVIDIA app, DLSS Swapper, or the NVIDIA Profile Inspector app, whichever override application that suits your fancy. And you want to use the Super Resolution Override to use DLSS 4.5's preset L, and use the performance setting, which is the 50% resolution setting on the slider. You don't want to use preset M in this title, as it has some flickering issues, which requires you to turn off the in-game denoiser, but who has the time and the patience for that? Preset L is NVIDIA's heaviest model that's focused on image quality, so it's perfect for a slow-paced game like Black Myth Wukong. As you already saw, it's going to take a microscope to tell the difference between 4K native and 1080p upscaled using this preset. We're going to enable FrameGen using the 2x mode here. And we're going to have full ray tracing enabled, which is path tracing, using the medium setting. I'll show you the comparison shots between medium and very high in a little bit, but here's a spoiler. It's not worth it. Okay, so for our main graphics settings, we're going to select the very high preset and just push two settings back up to cinematic, which are going to be view distance quality and texture quality. Everything else has a microscopic difference in image quality that you're basically wasting GPU resources for nothing, especially when you put global illumination to cinematic. Global illumination is the single biggest resource hog in just about every Unreal Engine 5 game, and shadows is not far behind. Seriously, you won't be able to see a difference even in screenshots, which is honestly what cinematic is really meant for. These two options alone can rob you of over 25% performance for an unnoticeable difference. The biggest eye candy at 4K will be texture sharpness and having the scenery at a distance still looking nice and sharp. Okay, so we're going to run a quick test back-to-back in a scene to compare cinematic settings versus optimized settings. Okay, so this is our 4K native experience on the 5080, and I guess this is not so bad?
Stop the cap! Stop the cap right now! Stop the cap!
Oof. Come on, bruv. I can't believe there are people out there that just religiously love the native experience when there are so much better options available. The worst part about getting sub 30 frames per second is your input lag. My lord, over 100 milliseconds of input lag, and I can definitely feel that. You do have to time perfect dodges and parry projectiles being thrown at you occasionally, and having a whole 1/10 of a second delay is going to feel like you're playing in the mud. I'm on a controller and I can feel it. I can't imagine playing like this on a keyboard and mouse. Oh, and by the way, we do have the low latency mode setting enabled in the NVIDIA app, and reflex is set to auto. I'm guessing the game turns it off completely if FrameGen isn't being used. But even if we were able to cut this by half to say 50 to 60 milliseconds, we can still do better.
Drop your weapon. Maybe I can spare your life.
Okay, let's check out the optimized settings. That's much better. You're able to really fill out that 120 Hz cap. Reflex and FrameGen work together to actually cut the latency by over half, which is great. Preset L is really doing its thing here. Image quality is superb, and we're not getting any weird shimmering or ghosting, again, thanks to Preset L. This is a super smooth experience.
Quiet fool. You don't want to. I have a feeling that someone's watching. What should I do now? To trouble this grand mountain.
Alright, I mentioned before about full ray tracing medium and very high. This setting alone costs you over 20% in performance, and the visual benefit is ridiculously small. This shot is on the medium setting. Check out the water reflections here. Looks pretty good, right? At least, I think so. And now we just activated full ray tracing's very high setting. Just as a reminder, both of these settings are using path-traced lighting. The only difference is going to be with reflections being slightly lower in IQ. Also, they will be screen-spaced, so the Destin one will sometimes be reflected on water surfaces. I personally don't mind this at all, but if you do keep it on, just keep in mind you're going to pay for it with FPS and latency. You're better off using FrameGen 3X at this setting with a 160 Hz setting from Windows. With that all said, I hope you all got some value out of this video, and which title should I do next? Leave a comment below. If you do like this content, please throw me a like and a sub. I'd really appreciate it. I'll see you all on the next one.